like I said, real, raw, true, and uncut, then I'm going to spill the beans. Make sure y'all tune into every episode because it's only going to get realer, baby. All go through things at the end of the day. We're not alone. We're not by ourselves. Everybody's judgmental, and everybody's looking at what everybody got, and everybody just feel like, and everybody's just so stank, like, and it's just like, I encourage everybody to release any negativity, evilness, or anything that comes against you or that is not of you or does not align with what your goals are, and do everything for God. And if we don't start doing what we want to do, we're going to be doing what makes other people happy, and we not going to be happy. Hold on, y'all. Hey, y'all, it's SheSoHollyhood with Hollyhood Politikz Podcast by Alexis Simone, where we discuss real, raw, true, and uncut, God, good gossip, hot tea, and perfect points. Hollyhood Politikz, Politikin The Right Way. Catch up, keep up, because you don't want to miss an episode. Hey, y'all, we made it to episode 1, so we finna get into it, straight into it. Y'all heard the intro, so you already know what time it is. I am here by myself, yours truly, Alexis Simone, and today I just really want to touch on the topic of spiritual warfare. And then we'll just see where that takes us. So lately I've just been in this spiritual journey of getting closer to God and just recognizing who I am as a woman and where I stand in life with God and just how I can, just be a better person all around in every aspect. And then also looking at like why my life is set up the way it is. Like, what is it that you're doing to end up where you are, whether it's good or bad? Like, why are you here? Why are you in this place? What are you doing? What do you have going on to have you where you are? I felt like I've always had a relationship with God. I mean, I grew up in church, and not to say like growing up in church means that you're just gonna have a relationship with God, but just the simple fact of being in His presence. And something that just really stuck out to me within the last few years as I got even closer, despite growing up in the church or like my mom instilling God, of course that's helped me like more than ever. And I'm pretty sure that that's why, I've always had faith in God. But within the last 2 years, I've noticed that I haven't been connected. I haven't been giving my full self to God. I haven't been putting God first. I haven't even been putting God, like, in general, And so that's a problem. And then you start to see it in your life, like, this is why you are where you are. And then you also start to see when you do put God first in your life, this is why where you are. And so I just really want to touch on my journey because I feel like everybody has a story, but everybody's story is unique. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's story isn't like the same plot as another person would be. So everybody's story has a different narrator, has different characters, so it's like everybody has a story, and I just get so emotional because I've been through a lot, and some things I've never discussed, some things I won't discuss, some things I will discuss, some things I don't know if I'll be able to discuss, but I just know that God has led me to do this podcast, and it's only right to just show up for yourself for the first episode. So we will have guests, we will have, different story plots and storylines, just depending on what the mood is. But this podcast is just to get people to understand that no matter what in life, that you go through, your story is unique, and your story is going to be different. Your story is going to have ups, downs, twists, and turns. And so just to back up a little bit, sometimes I go like all over the place, but just to back up a little bit, so like 2 years ago, I just really felt like, okay, it's time to lock in. Like, you've been in this mental state for too long, and it's time to pull yourself out, because what are you getting? What are you benefiting from being in this state? You feel me? So, I started going back to church. When the pandemic and everything happened, like, people weren't going to church, people been staying at home, there weren't services for us to attend and all this and that. So I kind of got out of the swing of things, and I just started living life like, however I was feeling at the moment, and it had nothing to do with God most of the time. So, now that COVID is over, the whole lockdown and everything like that, I started going back to church. And my homegirl back in the day, she actually took me to this church. And I'm telling you, when I went in there, I broke down, because it's like, when you in the presence of the Lord, you don't have no choice but to face him. You don't have no choice to feel that energy, you know, whatever demons or devilish or evil things, you know, that may be occurring in your head or your mind or in your thoughts. God is fighting that. That's why people get uncomfortable in the house of the Lord when they're not right with God. That's why people get uncomfortable when we speak his name. So, you know, I ain't trying to preach or nothing like that, but I just wanted to let you guys know that the pastor told me, and I'm not going to share this if I don't know that it don't work, okay? The pastor told me in church, all you have to do is show up. That's all you have to do is show up. Like, and so when he said that, I'm like, show up. Well, I'm here, you know, I did the first step, but you know, just showing up and being in that presence and feeling his energy and hearing that word, whether you receiving it or not, it's going in you, it's going through you. You know, you are what you hang around. You are your environment. You are what you hear, what you eat, you know, what you feel. And so if your environment and your energy is protected and, you know, you have enough strength to pull it together and show up to that environment that you know where you're going to receive that protection, show up. I'm telling you, like sometimes, excuse me, sometimes like I would show up and not be feeling it. But when I leave, it's like, wow, like you just did what the pastor said. All you had to do was show up. So I've just been showing up and showing up and showing up and showing up. And like, even on the days that I don't feel like showing up, I make sure that like I'm playing it on the TV or watching it on live, you know, just still receiving that message. You feel me? So it's like, all you really have to do is show up. And so when he said that, I'm like, show up. Okay. So if I show up, I know I'm in this good environment. I know I'm receiving a positive message. It ain't nothing wrong with that. So let me show up, you know? So I went to a church previously before the church that I currently attend, and I wasn't receiving it. And I really know that it's your environment, it's people around you, it's people that are instilling this positivity, and everybody don't got the right presentation or knowledge to even provide a message to you about God. So that's another thing with these churches, you know? So I found a church. I'm grateful I found a church, and, you know, it's just like a sacred place for me to just attend and really feel that energy. And so once you show up and you just keep going and you keep going, you're going to start, okay, he said what? Oh my God, I could apply that scripture to my life in those directions that are given with that scripture to my life. And then now that I receive it, and then I notice on a daily, like I'm automatically applying it. So let me keep showing up. You feel me? Like I'm going to show up every Sunday. And then, like I said, if I'm not showing up every Sunday, I'm showing up at home. Like wherever you are, just show up. Show up for yourself. But first, show up for God, period. Like, so ever since I've been showing up, you know, I just been starting to get like a clearer mind. Like I try to like go out like with the homegirls to a club or to a party. And it's just like, you just sitting there like, this is probably not the place for me. Like, why am I here? You know? And so when you have to ask yourself, why are you here? Or you're not feeling the energy that you feeling when you're in a good environment, then that's when you just know, like, that's not for me anymore. And so when I recognize with myself, like, that's not for me, you know, maybe I need to switch up my environment. Maybe I need to apply things this way or that way. Or maybe I'm applying things the wrong way. You feel me? Like, you know, you just have to feel it out. And once you feel it out and you make that connection, I swear to everything I love, like that is when you're going to get that wake up call. Like your whole routine is going to switch up. The people that you surround yourself with, you don't even want to be with them no more. No shade, but this is just like our energies just don't connect, you know? It's like oil and water. You feel me? Like oil is oil and water is water. They both have a purpose, but when you put them together, they just don't mix. And then that's where like I stand. That's where like I see myself standing in my life. Like I have a whole bunch of people around me that I love, that, you know, I want to be around, but it's just like we just don't mix. Our energy, our beliefs, the way we go about things. Of course, people are going to have like different opinions, but when they start to judge you based off of their opinion, I feel like that's when the line is crossed. You feel me? Like, you are entitled to an opinion, but when you let your opinion affect how you're treating a person or how you're interacting with the person or the way that you communicate with the person, that's when it starts to get fucked up. Let's just be blunt and honest. You feel me? So when I feel like I'm not in my environment or I'm around people that fuck up my energy, my peace, disturb me in any type of way, that is where I have to draw the line. And it could be friends, it could be family, it could be a person that, you know, you were dating and it just clicked. Like, one day you're gonna wake up and it's just gonna click. You feel me? So this all ties in at the end of the day. Like, everything that you do and everything that you're about and every, you know, lifestyle that you live, if you're not doing it through God, I promise you it will not work. I promise you it will not work. Like, so that's what I had to learn. Like, just making sure that I'm in my right environment to protect my energy, my peace, and that everything that I do it through God. And once that happens, I promise you everything is gonna start falling into place. I swear. Like, you'll be wondering, like, oh my God, how am I gonna get through this, or how am I gonna get through that? And it's like, girl, if you're a believer, or sir, if you're a believer, give that to God. You don't have to carry that. So once that registered, once I found my right environment, once I made sure I had that spiritual connection, once I made sure I started receiving what was being said on a positive note and recognizing, you know, what energies I need around me, that's when everything started to fall in place and click. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I'm so sanctified. You feel me? Like, no, I just know that what I've been doing has been working and it works for me. You feel me? So that's just like life, like just growing up and recognizing which paths are right. You feel me? There's going to be multiple paths that are available to you, but what is the right path? What path are you going on to make sure that you're elevating? You feel me? And so once you feel like you want to step back into that hot life or that lifestyle that you used to be in, you will recognize that once you're so spiritually connected and you go back to what ain't meant for you or what isn't being spiritually connected with God, then you're going to want to reroute. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're not going to want to be around that person. You're not going to want to be in that place. You're not going to want to eat that food. It's just like a psychological routine that you have to adjust to ensure that you're your best self. My spiritual journey has been beautiful. I feel like I've elevated so much, and people like hold onto these certain past characteristics that you may have, and it's just like, I'm not that person anymore. You know, you with old Alexis. You know, this is not old Alexis. This is the new Alexis, and this is what I'm coming with. And so that makes people uncomfortable because they're like, oh, well, she's changed, or she's acting different, or she's on a new. Yes, you're absolutely right. And it's all for the better. Like, and I just feel like people can't judge you. Like, you can have your opinion. You can feel the way that you want to feel about that person. But once you start to treat that person differently, and you start judging that person based off of how you feel, and you ain't meeting them where they at, then bye. That's not a person that I would want in my energy. I feel like they're fucking up my aura, and I'll dismiss myself. And people have to respectfully receive that. You feel me? Because people feel hurt, or, oh, you don't talk to me no more, or, oh, you don't pop out with me anymore. Well, look at yourself and see why. I'm over here trying to make it happen, and you're over there judging, you know, from an angle where you could probably never see inside of my ankle because of the way that you are. You feel me? So it's just about adjusting your angles and like fitting in a place where you know you'll benefit from. You feel me? So I'm in love with my spiritual journey. I've been going to church. I be praying. I pray all day long about anything. I pray this, I pray that, I pray this, I pray that. It don't matter. Like, you just talk to God as if you on the phone with your grandmama. Like, you know, you just gotta be in tune. Like, it's no way in the society that we live in where you're not in tune. Like, if you're not in tune, how are you able to succeed? Like, you gotta have that connection with God. And so I just encourage everybody to just show up. Like, as long as you show up, God will meet you right where you are, period. Okay? You feel me? So I just noticed that on this spiritual journey, like, I don't have the same desires that I've had before. And I'm not saying that, within the last 2 years, today, at whoop time, I'm perfect. Like, I just noticed like a lot of things I don't put up with, a lot of things I don't deal with, a lot of things my perspective has changed, a lot of people I don't want to be around. And it's no shade. Like, I feel like people shouldn't take nothing personally, because it's just like people outgrow certain situations, certain people, certain environments, and that's okay. Like, you have to respect them and meet them where they are, just like God will meet them where they are. You feel me? So it's just like a matter of time. As like you get older, I just feel like a lot of things will start registering into your head. Like, that don't serve me no purpose. I ain't finna fight her and lose my master's degree and LMFT license for nobody. You feel me? So you have to really think, like, I be on some like, what would Jesus do sometimes? Now, sometimes I will lose it. Let me tell you, I just lost it the other day. And it's not easy, but it's like, how much progress have you made? You feel me? So as long as you're making progress, it's just like, God is seeing you try, and God is going to give you the courage to want to get closer to him. God is going to give you the courage to succeed. God is going to give you the courage to stand up to, hey, that's not for me. I don't want that. I don't need that. I don't want that in my life. Get that out of my life. There's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations, and it's just about how you navigate through them. Like, the other day, I was going through a fucking spiritual warfare, and I know it was spiritual warfare. And usually, like, if you're not connected with God, you start freaking out, like, oh my God, what's going on? I can't believe this is happening. Like, I'm getting anxiety. I want to take a shot, smoke, with you, blah, blah. Like, no, if you just know, like, God got me, because I've been connected. I don't need to feel the way that I feel, because I know that God got it. In the Bible, I know that it says, get angry but sin not. So I'm not going to sin. I'm not going to let that spiritual warfare affect me. I'm going through all of these things, but I'm not going to let it affect me, because I got God. So once you master that, and you just know, like, God is not going to put you through anything that you can't handle. And in any spiritual warfare, you're not even going to feel that pain, because you're so connected with God. You're like, all right, God got it. And it's one thing to say God got it, but it's another thing to also make sure that you're putting in the work behind it. God may have that situation, but how are you reacting? You feel me? What are you doing? Like, why can't you pay that bill? Oh, because you've been financially irresponsible? Okay, well, you gonna say, let me just put it in God's hands and God's gonna take care of the bill. No, you have to put the work behind it. You have to show up to work. You have to try to meet that promotion level. And then once God sees that you're putting in the work and you're trying, then it's given to you, because you already connected. So it's like, it's going to happen. So, like, I just say that to say, like, I be going through spiritual warfare, but it really don't affect me. I don't really feel, this and that, like how I used to feel. Like, I just feel like, all right, like, it's another thing, but like, I know God got it. So let me just calm down. Let me get my thoughts and myself together and just give it to God. Like, so I just say that to say, like, you never know what you're going to go through. And just because you're connected with God doesn't mean that you're not going to go through anything. It's how you going about it. How are you doing it? Are you following his word according to what he's saying? You're applying it to your situation. Are you doing that? So you just really got to look at it from a broader perspective. Like, people always think like, oh, if God got me, then why am I going through this? Well, what did you do? You got to make sure that you're putting in that work behind it. Y'all, I could be talking about this all day. Like, like, my faith gets tested every day. And I just feel like it really gets tested with the people who lose connection or who do not have the connection. I'm telling you, because it ain't no way that I could be going through some of these things if I wasn't involved with some of these people. You feel me? Like, if you going out to rob a bank and you with a bunch of bank robbing ass people, well, obviously it ain't gonna go good for you, because you're tied in with the wrong people. You're not with the entrepreneurs and the top table tier, top presidential people. You feel me? Like, you're with those type of people. So you have to change your environment. You have to change who you hang with, what you put around you. Hello. Like, I'm not saying this for nothing. This is like through lived experiences that I'm really speaking on. You feel me? So every day I just try to like start my day off with the scripture, or, I have the I Am app on my phone and I may use that. It just depends on how I'm feeling or what I'm dealing with. Not every day I'm able to start, the way I think I should start or the way I'm supposed to start. But it's just like incorporating God in your daily life anyway is good. Maybe you can start implementing certain prayers or certain scriptures in your life and living by them and journaling about them. But it's just like, at least at some point in your day, you should be able to implement something of God. Like, you are a reflection of God. Anything that you do, anything that you say, anybody that you hang around, anything that's in your environment, and sometimes it's hard to let go of those environments. It's like, it's hard to not party when that's a lifestyle that you live. Like, you've created these habits for yourself and you have to break them. If you really want it and you really want to be with God and you really want to, have that connection, then you have to put in the work. You have to maybe sit by yourself. You have to maybe sit out on this, as long as you're doing it with a pure intention and you're recognizing, hey, this ain't for me. Hey, I can't be there, and people gonna have to take it to heart, because if they was real and they were genuine, then it wouldn't matter to them. They would be in the utmost support about you and what you got going on and what you want to do. You feel me? And everybody is so quick to judge, like, oh, she shouldn't be talking to that guy. Oh, she shouldn't be with this guy. Oh, she shouldn't be wearing that. What are you doing? Why are you feeling like you're able to judge when you're not even right? And so I just feel like, if nobody's encouraging me, if nobody's supporting my thoughts, yeah, you can have your opinion on it, but where's the support? This is who I am. This is the decision that I made. So what's up? Oh, you don't like that? Oh, all right. Bye. You don't believe in that? Bye. And I have to say, like, this is probably the best I've ever felt in years. Like, there would be times where I would just be completely blacked out of life. Do you hear me? Like, on a lifestyle that I wouldn't even imagine myself being involved in today. Seriously, like, that stuff gets really, really deep. And I just feel like once you're able to just take accountability and reflect and really just, you're gonna be good. I ain't gonna lie, you're gonna be good. So lately, y'all, there's been like times where I've been like very conflicted. Like, there's been times where I literally have sat up and talked to myself in my head, like, do you really want to go there with that person? Do you really want to say that? Do you really want to block your blessings? At the end of the day, that's really all that there is. Like, it's just, you are blocking your blessings. Whatever you choose to be involved with that's not of God, you are blocking your blessings. And that's all that it is. It ain't going to be on the other person. It's going to be on you. It's going to be on you. It's going to be on you. It's not going to be on nobody else but you. Everybody is accountable for their own actions. Everybody is accountable for their own decisions. So that's why God says, get angry but sin not. And so when I'm about to get into it with somebody, or I feel like I'm about to go there with somebody, I say that to myself. And sometimes I just go there and I'll be like, God, I'll take the consequence. And so that's where I have to self-reflect, like, girl, stay focused. This is not what we're doing today. We're not going back with this person. We're not entertaining this person, and there's respectful ways that you could do it. But sometimes, when you're in that journey, the devil just really be pushing you to revert back to that old, you feel me? So it's just be a lot of ups and downs, but I will not take the spiritual journey for granted, because I remember when I'm like, God, you real. I've been learning about you since I was in my mama's belly, and every day after that. So it's just like, what are you doing, And so sometimes God is working behind the scenes and we can't even see it, to prepare us for what is coming, And it's like, God, I be seeing people live the fast life and they getting all this and that. They got houses, they got this, they got jewelry, they got that. They living their best life. They in the sections, in the club, they turned up. But that's just us looking from the outside. And God is the only person that they gonna answer to. They don't got to answer to us. They don't have to prove to us how they getting it and having it and living it at all. But God knows my true heart. He's going to prepare me for my best. He's going to prepare you for your best. And it don't matter how they living or what they doing. Because if God wanted you to be on that or involved in that or living that way, then it would already be done. And if it ain't done, it ain't the time. So that's what I have to learn. Like, I teach myself, like, this is not God's timing. You cannot do this. You know? And I will say that I have gotten better, you know, about worrying or like, oh, I want to do this or I want to start this business, but I ain't going to do it because it ain't God's timing. You know, you feel like you want to do it, but the reason why you don't have that rage and that urgency on doing that business or starting that business or doing that task or doing this or that is because God didn't put it on your heart yet. That's why it's not working out for you. That's why you haven't started. But once you start and you get that sign from God, you're going to take off. You're going to take off, honey. I started a cooking business last year, 2025 in June. And boom, business was booming, like booming. Some days it wasn't booming. I'm like, I ain't finna do this. This is not for me. God said, why don't you give back? You so busy trying to receive. Why don't you give back? And I really had to humble myself because it's like, God, I need my bills paid. I'm doing this by myself. Like, you feel me? So it's like, when is it going to be my turn? But God said, you're not here to receive right now. This is not your season of receiving. And I get so emotional because it's like, how am I going to get by if it ain't my turn? How am I going to give if it ain't my turn? And God lines things up to where, hey, you can't take your path. You got to take my path. And this is what it is. And it just really gets me emotional because it's like, I listen to God and he really just shows me the answer that I was looking for in the beginning. But I didn't get it because I didn't follow his footsteps. I didn't follow that path that he gave me. So then I'm like, all right, you want me to give? I'm giving. I'm going down there. I'm hustling up anything that I could get, you know, of course, the right way to not block my blessings. And I'm going to cook for the homeless. I'm going to go down to Skid Row and cook for the homeless. I'm giving back this season. That's what he told me to do. That's what I'm doing. Alexis, where you going to get the money from? I don't know. God got it. I'm just doing his assignment. I'm going to start off with the rice. Okay? This gets me so emotional because I know everything that I go through and I know how I feel. So it's just like, wow, like, start off with the rice. Hold on, y'all. All right, start off with the rice, God. But I need the beans for the chili. I gotta feed these people. I have a deadline. I'm going down there to serve the people like you told me to. I'm not selling plates. I'm receiving this season. So I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna sell these plates. No, you're gonna go down there. You're gonna give back. All right, start off with the rice. Got the rice. I need the beans. Oh, look what came in. The money for the beans. All right. What about the serving dishes? Or what about this? I got you. God said, I got you. Look here. You just raised this much money so you go buy what you need. Oh, all right. Go down there. Wow, it's looking kind of dry. It's raining. What we gonna do? God said, you could serve in the rain. What's your excuse? Get a tent. Got a tent. All right. Line not looking long. Maybe we ain't gonna sell. What I'm gonna do with all this chili? Take it back home? What I'm gonna do? I got all these people that I invited to be volunteers. Half of them didn't show up. Half of them came with their best self and they just standing here. What we gonna do? All right, it's raining. Whole crowd come around the corner. Whole line. I swear to God. Whole line. Like, I'm like, won't he do it? Won't he do it? And so it's just like sometimes we have this this purpose and our idea of what we want behind something, but in reality, that might not be our purpose. It might go another route. You might could still do that, what you was going to do, but it ain't going to be how you wanted to do. It's going to be how God wanted to do. And, you know, not only are you blessing others, but you're blessing God by following his path, his word, you know, recognizing that you need his guidance at the end of the day. You cannot do this by yourself. You feel me? And so everything that I do, I just make sure like I ask God first, because I tried to do things my way and it didn't work out. It never worked out, and it won't work out. It's not going to work out because God don't have it aligned like that for you. You feel me? And once you recognize that, it be a breeze, baby. It be a breeze. Like, I feel like I be forced by God. You got to do it my way. That's exactly how God be. And I just feel like as a woman, especially as like a woman that's, you know, gonna be in their 30s, it's like, what are you doing with your life that you're not connected with God? You already been connected with God. You see how he worked when you followed his directions. So what are you doing when you feel in doubt that things are not gonna go the way that they should go? What are you doing to feel like that? Oh, you ain't prayed this week. You didn't even go to church last week. You didn't even watch it on live. So let me realign myself and get right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not here to just preach, but I'm going to tell y'all the truth always. And y'all could take it and run with it in whatever way y'all want to run and take it and flow and go with it. But I just know that it works for me. And I feel like if something is on my heart, or if I have a testimony or a ministry or something to say, something that's real, like I said, real, raw, true and uncut, then I'm going to spill the beans, because I feel like everybody needs that ear. Like, people be feeling like they're alone, or people be feeling like, you know, I'm the only one that's going through this. Like, we all go through things at the end of the day. We're not alone. We're not by ourselves. And I feel like society makes it so hard to just be like, everybody's judgmental and everybody's looking at what everybody got, and everybody just feel like and everybody's just so stank, like, you know. And it's just like, why can't we feel comfortable enough to just be us and to just exist in our own way? Why do we have to be judged? Why do we have to wonder if, oh, this guy's not gonna like me because I come with this, or that guy's not gonna like me, or that girl's not gonna like me because I come with this, or I'm this way, or I'm that way? Like, why do we have to just get so antsy? Like, you feel me? And I just feel like once you're in line with God, you won't even have to worry about all that. I just want to touch on my spiritual journey, because I feel like everybody's journey is amazing in its own way. I feel like everybody has some type of relatable topic in their story and in their journey. And I just know that there's somebody that is looking for a certain message, or looking for a certain person to just say that thing that they need to get them to take off, to get them to get one step closer to God. And God will bring people in your life that will take you to those points that you need. And he will bring people in your life to know that where I'm at ain't where I should be. What I'm doing is not what I should be doing. You feel me? And it just takes that right message. You know, we're not alone. We're not alone. Everybody out here with a problem. Everybody ain't got it like how they're presenting to have it. Trust and believe that. You know, everybody is gonna have some type of flaw. That's why I do not think that it is okay to judge. Yeah, we could clown and talk about, oh, look at her with, or oh, she shouldn't have wore that. But when God is in your heart, God know your heart. You know, we gonna clown and say this or that. But when you're intentionally trying to judge or hurt somebody, that's where it makes it uncomfortable to be in society, because it's like, well, I'm this way, but I just know, like, when I go out, they're not going to accept me because I'm this or that way. And it's just like, why do we have to judge people? We are judging people out of their own truths. Do you hear me? I'm finna drop the mic, baby. We are judging people out of their own truths. People cannot be who they are. People cannot exist in this society that we live in because they are afraid to be who they really are. Who they really are has been taken from them. Who they really are has been judged to be damned. you know? So I just feel like I have to redirect my whole entire existence of a person to just be able to be that one person out of everybody. Like, we doing it how we gonna doing it. We keeping it, you know, the way we want to keep it. We're not doing this for somebody else. We doing this through the Lord, and the way we want to do it through the Lord, because he gave me this route. You know, we're not doing it because whoop-de-whoop then posted it, and so we feel like, well, damn, you know, or your crush posting, oh, I hate girls that drink Coke, and you know that you drink a Coke every day faithfully, so now you don't like Coke. You don't care about Coke. You don't want to see a Coke. You don't buy Coke products, and it's like you just changed your whole life off of somebody else, you know? And I feel like I was caught up in that, and now that I'm more spiritually connected and on the spiritual path, and like, and it's not just spiritual like, oh, Jesus, like, it could be spiritual in other aspects. Like, to me, it just means like you're just on this different journey, or you're on this different path, or you're in this different realm or level to where you move in peace, love, and light. That's what that means to me. It doesn't always just mean like, oh, you're connected to God, or oh, everything's about God. No, it's like, I use that perfume because it makes me think of happy thoughts, and it makes me feel good. Not only does it make me smell good, but the bottle of it reminds me of a happy moment in my life, or a person, or that person gave it to me, so it's special. Like, it's just like thinking on a higher level than what it's presenting, you know? And so I've been trying to do that, like, through everything, like through what I eat. I ain't made the workout part yet, but I'm trying, you know? That's just all that matters. Like, just trying and being your best self, and then giving yourself that A for effort. Like, just getting through a day alone is fucking hell, okay? You know, and we come from these families or these certain upbringings to where we just feel hindered. Like, we feel like we have to live and abide by what was set for us through your mama or your granny. And it's just like, we have no independency of being our own self. And that's what I am focused on. I'm focused on being independent, to where I'm not going to rely on the next person's opinion to affect my decisions and hinder my talents, or me moving forward on something that I want to do, just because somebody feels like, oh, well, maybe if you do it like this, or maybe you should have did it like that. Like, I just want to align myself with God to just guide me through the things that I want to do. And I feel like if you have him and you have these things that you want to do, then eventually it'll all fall into place, because you have him, you're going down his path, you're spiritually in tune, you're on a higher realm, and you living your best life because it's what you want to do. And if we don't start doing what we want to do, we're going to be doing what makes other people happy, and we're not going to be happy. And that's what I started to notice. Like, I'm dealing with this when I ain't even happy. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to eat at Taco Bell no more. I want to eat at In-N-Out. And that's what I want to do. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it because that person is so used to eating at Taco Bell. You feel me? Like, it's just like an analogy, but it's just really reading in between the lines as to who you are versus who you're trying to be, and versus who you want to be, and just doing everything through God. So I encourage everybody to release any negativity, evilness, or anything that comes against you, or that is not of you, or that does not align with what your goals are, and do everything through God. Okay, so this is episode 1, baby, and make sure y'all tune into every episode, because it's only gonna get realer, baby.